Brandon, we've seen a number of incidents from people breaching Taiwan's maritime borders and coming onto shore. Is this part of a bigger issue?
I think that when you look at these individually, you really have to gauge a lot of the different factors that go into how much of this is a threat. I think that in previous ones, you're looking at a rigid hull or a metal hull that has a higher risk, potential for risk to Taiwan on the security side. But this latest incident with a rubber hull, it's not going to be a threat really on the security wise. It's pretty easy to puncture. It may not actually even be picked up on radar because of the lack of a rigid hull. So when we look at this, you look at the conditions that the person was in. This really does point more to a humanitarian response effort than it is a security effort.
So then is the frequency in which these activities are happening, is this more of a concern then? And is this more than Taiwan is used to dealing with?
Now, obviously, this is the second one in so many months. I think the third or fourth one in the past year. The number of the frequency of these incidences is something that could be of concern, but realistically, what we're seeing right now probably is within that realm of normal activities that occur on a maritime border. I would point to things like the Alaska-Russian border. These kinds of events happen there. South Korea and North Korea, where you would suspect North Korean defectors to be, a spy or part of the military, as many of the men are.
Now, this rubber boat came from around Ningbo in China, which is north of Taiwan and west of Japan. Do you think this maybe could be a way for the two countries, Japan and Taiwan, to work together in the sense of sharing information about these incidents?
I think that every incident that occurs is always a great opportunity to examine what went wrong, what could go better, whatnot. And I think that the Coast Guard response here was the appropriate response. They looked at what the threat was, what the possibilities were. They responded appropriately. I think that when we look at what the Taiwan Coast Guard administration is supposed to do, they did exactly what they are in this scenario. So I think here it's trying to find lessons where things have gone trying to find lessons where things went right. I think cooperation with Japan, with Philippines, with other neighbors is always a great start to help build that maritime domain awareness, not just for this incident, but really for monitoring and monitoring all the traffic in the maritime waters.